We are in a major, major crisis. We're talking about all the things that are not in our purview. I have a question. How many of you are elected neighborhood council members in this room? Great. We are the army out there. We are the ones that have to go to City Hall starting on Monday and say, we cannot afford to be lost. You cannot cut our funding. We did this last year. It was successful. I'm a vice president of the Venice Neighborhood Council, and I'm a member of the Board of Neighborhood Commissioners. We go all over the city, and I'm telling you, you are the army. You have the power. We have the power to stay alive. If we don't stand up, and if we don't speak out to save our own funding and to save the funding of Dunn or some of it, and if we don't have a department in any configuration that can't support our work, we're going to die on the vine and we're going to lose our voice. We are elected members of this city. We have a lot more standing than most everyone else, and we speak for hundreds of thousands of millions of people. So we have to use our voice. I don't want to see you lose it. And the only way not to lose it is to be mobilized. And I'm going to work with all of you. I'm going to work on mobilizing my neighborhood council, the West Side neighborhood councils, with my colleagues here. But don't underestimate the power that you have, and don't underestimate the need for you to use your voice now. Our purview is to be neighborhood council leaders of our constituents, our stakeholders. That's what we're elected to do, and that's what we have to do. So, thank you.
Here's what the charter has to say about what neighborhood councils are supposed to do. It's about monitoring of city services, it's about outreach, it's about preparing a list of priorities for the city budget, it's about promoting citizen participation, and it's about making government more responsive. And I think that every single activity that neighborhood councils do has to relate back to this section of the charter. So for example, money has gotten spent on a whole variety of wonderful community projects. They're great, and in fact, they can leverage the money that is used. But that does not mean that they are what is set out in the charter. And to go to the City Council, to go to the Budget and Finance Committee and say, well, we need this, we'd like this, we want this, forget those words. Take them out of the vocabulary. The issue is, what are we obligated to do as neighborhood councils by the charter, and what is the City Council obligated to do to provide us for the resources in order to accomplish that. So it's not about wanting money so that we can do some nice garden or so that we can have a nice community project. It is about, again, going back to the charter very, very specifically. And it's also not about we'd like these things so that we can function better, but it's that we are entitled to these things in order to do the obligation that is set out for us and the obligation that is set out for the City Council and for Dunn clearly in the charter. And I would urge everybody here to go downtown to the Budget and Finance Committee, to go downtown to one of the council meetings, and to talk about not just what we want, not just what we'd like, but what we are required to do and how the council, by law, is going to be bound to work with us within the confines of the city charter. If we do that, I think that we will be very, very successful.
We have 3 solid friends on our city council, and many who are favoring us, but who will be heavily influenced by what you do and by the arguments, both rational, factual, and most importantly, emotional. We, through the wisdom of CD2, I believe that the chair of the Education Neighborhood Committee is a solid friend of the city, of the neighborhood council system called Galperin.
Yes.
He has expressed it visibly, verbally, and in no uncertain terms. I also believe that Councilperson Janice Hahn is a friend of the neighborhood council system. I also believe that Councilmember Koretz is a friend because he sat on a neighborhood council. We know who our friends are. Now, we have certain city council persons that are friends of this system. We have certain city council persons that are enemies of this system. And we have certain city council people that are going to be running for office. They're going to be running for re-election to city council. They're going to be running for mayor. They're going to be running for city attorney. And we have to have long memories. We have to remember who our friends are. Because we are what we call in the poster business, I'm not a poster, but I work in that business, deep influencers in the community level. We blog, we email, we phone, we tell voters whom we recommend to vote for and whom to ignore.
This is politics. We're dealing with politicians, okay? I understand that it's tough to get down to that level, but let's try. And let's quit talking about what we think is going to happen, and let's look back at history and what actually happens, okay? Last year, there was a panic. Why? They're going to cut us. They're going to cut us to $35,000. They're going to take the rollover. They didn't, okay? Because they're politicians and they make decisions not on reality, not on what is fiscally sound. I mean, we wouldn't be in this mess, would we? No, they base their decisions on counting heads, okay? They saw the turnout, they saw the reaction, they counted the heads, and they said, oh, crap. Okay? And I can tell you, at that meeting at City Hall, I had Janice Hahn standing back there yelling at me about, you are not going to get your money. And I said, we'll see, Janice. Okay? Here we are again. Deja vu all over again. All right? We need 8 votes. We need to figure out who those people are, and we need to make them solid. Okay? This is a negotiation, folks. We don't walk in and say, we can live with 30,000 or what. No, we walk in and we say, you know what? Damn it. I'll admit, I'm not as important as a paramedic, but I'm telling you right now, I'm every bit as important as a damn parking meter you think you're going to sell to somebody. Because I bring more value to the city in what I do, along with my 1,600 other compatriots. All right? So you give us every penny. We'll keep leveraging it to provide the services that you guys are busy cutting. All right? Okay? You walk in with a position of strength, they count the heads, they'll figure it out. It'll be deja vu all over again. Okay? We are not going to win by walking in and talking about philosophy, because they don't give a shit. All right? About philosophy. Philosophers don't vote that much. Okay? We're going to win by walking in with great big numbers and saying, you give us what we want, or damn it, you're going to feel our pain. Okay? That's how it works. All right? So number one, the amount of money we want, $45,000, and we keep that damn rollover.
Yes. Right.
Okay? Number two, as much as we love the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, we're cool with your recommendation to cut them to 17 positions. Okay?
And that would cut their budget too?
Okay? Because right here, in attachment 13E, which I hope some of you read, here's the blueprint, folks. You see what the CAO has done? He's talked about the political downside for the city council, and then he's given them a chart. A chart that talks about the decrease in funding for neighborhood councils and how much the general fund savings are. This is to allow them to figure out where that level is. It's not going to be 0, especially if all of us show up. The question is, which line do they end up on? That's what we need to think about and fight for.